All right, what's up, y'all? It's another episode of the Ain't Got It Yet podcast. I got a very, very special guest. I've been waiting on this one for a minute. I've been stalking my guys' IG live, leaving comments on the IG, man. Been trying to get him in for a minute. Glad I finally got him in here. Lil Niqo, San Diego's own. Appreciate you pulling up on me, man.
Likewise, brother.
Honor, man. It's an honor to have you here, bro. I gotta I gotta start the show off by telling you this story. How I first heard about you is a very, very funny story. So I was, it was when Okay Then was out. When Okay Then was out, and I used to hang out. I was living in Escondido up in North County. I had one of my homegirls and her friends were going to Cal State San Marcos, and they had a townhouse in San Marcos. My homegirl Alex, shout out to Alex, I'm gonna put you on blast. We used to party at her townhouse all the time in college, and I hadn't heard the song and I didn't know who you were, and she just walking through her crib. Okay then, she's saying it nonstop. We like, Alex? What are you saying? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, y'all never heard of Lil Niqo? Y'all never heard this song before? And she was like, for weeks, bro, maybe for like a month, she was singing it, showing everybody, this kid is so cute, like showing everybody the video. And so, and I don't think, at the time, I didn't realize that you were from here, I don't think. And then like later on, I started watching growing up hip hop. The rap game. I'm bugging. My bad, bro. The rap game. Started watching the rap game, and then got tapped in. It was obviously rooting for you, just being from the city and all of that. So, but yeah, I definitely had to tell you that story, bro, for sure. Yeah.
Shout out to Alex.
Well, yeah, she's good people. She's definitely good people for sure. You've been a star and been into music pretty much. Seems like out the womb, pretty much, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, pretty much my whole life. Yeah.
When did you hit the scene at what, like 10 years old?
10 years old, yeah.
How long before that did you start making music though?
Probably like 2 years. I first really started when I was like 8 going on 9.
Mm-hmm.
It all really started at a second grade talent show. I had wound up performing Shorty Like Mine.
Okay.
By Bow Wow and Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I always been a fan of music, but me pursuing it. And just that day, I told my mom, I'm like, yo, this is something I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it took me a little while to convince her, you know what I mean? Because she's been in the industry for quite some time.
Oh, okay. In what capacity?
Marketing manager.
Okay.
LaFace Records, BMG, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She worked with Usher, Pink, countless names, you know what I'm saying? So she's a seasoned vet in the game.
Oh, okay.
So, as a kid and her knowing what comes with the industry, of course, who doesn't want the best for their child. Mm-hmm. So it took me some convincing, but I got through to her. And then, 2 years later, I wound up signing my deal with Def Jam at 10 years old.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm sure having a mom being able to help you navigate that made things easier. Actually, speaking of that, I just watched, well, not just, but I was just telling somebody about Jason Weaver. And how him having his mom, she was able to help him set up the deal with the Lion King deal and some of the other deals like early on in his career. So I'm sure that's definitely a big benefit. Was she like instrumental in helping you getting on the rap game?
Yeah. In a sense, definitely. It really just came from the body of work we already built up and the following that I had.
That makes sense.
Especially on YouTube, me being young. You know what I mean? That's kind of really where they were going with it as far as the audience that they were looking for. So. Just the hard work we was putting in over the years and the body of work, that's really what led up to it. Okay.
Was it early on being being on that show, I'm sure legitimized you to pretty much everybody. Yeah. But prior to that, was it hard convincing people that this was like, you serious about this and this is your career?
Yeah, absolutely. Just off the fact of me being young, you know what I'm saying? At the time, it was a lot of gimmicks in the game, So me being young and just me being serious, but I feel like they took me serious based off my work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the studio. I'm talking about 12-hour sessions. I'm grinding. I was doing a lot of things that a lot of adults at that time just weren't really willing to do. And so I think the work ethic is really what helped me sell people on. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this kid, not only is he talented, but he's really out here grinding, you know what I mean? But it definitely, I got a lot of no's before I got some yeses, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that.
Having those, I'm sure going into making music, as much as you may love it, I'm sure you don't envision a 12-hour studio session. So when you go through a bunch of those, that wasn't like discouraging in any way, or did you just love to be in the studio?
Not at all. I really loved it. You know what I'm saying? I still love it. I've always had a passion for music and also just kind of having that Mamba mentality too. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. you know, what you put in is what you get out. So I knew if I want to be the best, if I want all the accolades, if I really want to be a star, I got to put that work in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like any athlete, up and coming athlete, or whatever industry, whatever line of work you in, you got to know that while you working, you know, so is the next person. So you got to work 10 times harder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I always told myself, you know, it may be people that are better than me, stronger than me, faster, whatever, but I'm not going to ever let anybody outwork me. And so I think that's what kind of helped distinguish me to get to where I'm at.
That's dope. That was well said, bro. That was well said. Now, being on the rap game, I've always been curious because I haven't really, I never really watched. I watched a lot of reality TV, but not really like the messy stuff. You know what I mean? I admitted I watched Flavor of Love, some of those shows like that, but I really was like Making the Band, the rap game, Run's House. I've been into like a few of the reality shows. How, in your experience anyway, how much of it is like they setting up scenarios for y'all, and how much of it is just like they just filming whatever y'all doing?
Man, so it's crazy because when we first all like got into the house, you know, after like the first day of meeting each other and everything, so after like, you know, everybody, all the cast members and everything, so the producers were kind of like just telling us, yo, have fun, you know what I'm saying? This is what you got to hear for,
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe after the first week of filming, that's when they came back and when they were like, so we sent the first week of whatever back to production and it's boring. You know what I'm saying? You guys got to kind of, you know, this is a competition. They went from it not being a competition to now it's a competition and you guys are too friendly. And they pretty much said it just like that, one of the producers. So
it initially wasn't set up as a competition show?
It was, but we were still kids, you know.
Just still just meeting each other and hanging out.
Yeah, like
got you. Okay.
To be real with you, what really draws people into reality TV sometimes is the controversy.
Absolutely.
You know, but it was a little bit different because we all are kids. You know what I'm saying? We're each other's peers and stuff like that. But you know, it definitely was certain times where they'll try to, oh, Niqo, so and so's in this room talking about such and such. Let's see what you have to say about that. You know, I'll be somewhere not even mic'd up or filming, and they'll pull me in the room. So it was definitely certain, times like that when they was trying to be messy for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You maintain relationships with a lot of the people from the show?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, most definitely. I know everybody out there doing their own thing right now, and shout out to all my former castmates, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, for the most part, I still tap in with them.
That's dope. What was the next move after being on the show? Like, what came next?
So after the show, I had some independent placements with ESPN's First Take. I did a couple of shows on ESPN where like my song, a few different of my songs were actually playing on First Take for like consecutive months.
I remember that.
You know, 30 days at a time. Shout out to everybody at First Take. Shout out to my boy Kevin at the music department at ESPN. I did some things with them. I did a couple of tours. I don't know if you heard of Fresh Empire, the tobacco-free campaign. They was pushing like the summer of maybe like 2017, 2016, doing a lot of shows for them. But it was really just trying to build up that catalog now that I was transitioning from a little kid to a teenager and becoming a young man. So that's the whole, the concept of what I was working on after the rap game.
And at what point did the first album come out?
I want to say I never released an official album, but I dropped like EPs and stuff like that.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like 2016, 2017-ish, around that time, 2015. Before then, I was still kind of trying to figure it out because, like I said, I was hitting puberty, my voice was cracking, stuff like that. So it was certain times where I might have to take a couple weeks off from recording and, kind of get it together. But yeah, I'd probably say maybe like 2016, 2017.
What was that like listening to yourself and like, were you like, other than your voice cracking, were you like conscious of like the sound of your voice changing? And like what effect did that have on things?
In a sense.
I never really thought about that.
Mainly because I was just really trying to find, I guess what they was called your sound, you know what I'm saying? Transitioning into a teenager as far as just like topics and the audience, whatever. My audience, my target or my fans have predominantly been females over the years. So, but I was still trying to, do some cool stuff for the fellas too at the same time. So, It was certain things that had me conscious about, you know, my voice changing and how it'll pan out for me and how the fans will react to it and stuff like that. So I think I was more so just trying to figure out how my fans could grow with me. You know what I'm saying? Over the years. But I definitely was thinking about it at times, for sure.
I bet. I bet. How has it been being? It's not probably like wording this kind of awkwardly, but how has it been being someone that's like accomplished the things you've accomplished and the success that you've reached being from here? Because we don't really like, we have a music scene, but not really. Yeah. And we have a sound, but not really. You know what I mean? And so like, how is it, what's your experience been like being an artist from San Diego?
Me personally, you know, me being
I'm so sorry, bro. 1 second. I'm so sorry, bro. Hello?
Hey.
Yeah.
Food is downstairs.
All right. Thank you so much. My bad, bro. She ordered it like an hour ago. I don't know why it took so long.
So me just being a Dago native, like regardless of what I did, I always wanted to put on for the town, man. It's always been and still is a big thing for me. I feel like sometimes, man, and it's probably other cities and other places that can relate. Sometimes you just gotta kind of get on or shed light on your city by moving out of the city or making moves outside of the city, I should say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure every artist from here can relate to that, as far as like we always kind of somewhat had a mentality like we owe the people something. You know what I'm saying? Like we're almost probably the last people that support our own. You feel what I'm saying? So I really wasn't like I said, from a personal aspect, because I'm from here, it's like, dang, at times I wish I would have got more support in certain situations from the city, but, you know, I made it happen elsewhere, you know, whether I was going up and back and forth to LA doing school tours or whatever shows, you know what I'm saying, from the Jerkin days in 08, 09, you know what I'm saying, the YG, the Rangers, the New Boys, you know what I'm saying, all the way to Atlanta. You know, I built a fan base outside of the city, and then as I grew from there, I feel like that's when the city started to, you know, gravitate towards it and support a little bit more and things like that. But, you know, as an artist, man, and like I said, just as a Dago native, I always wanted to just put on in the right way for the city, you know, but I understand the mentality sometimes. I don't agree with it, you know what I'm saying, but you know, every life is about perspective. So, you know, sometimes you know, it is what it is. But I'm glad that I'm, you know, able to do that. You know?
That's dope. You stay repping the town. I appreciate it. Yeah. From what I've experienced, and I watch a lot of interviews and I listen to a lot of artists talk about like their rise and like them coming up, whether it's, you know, Wayne being known all over New Orleans and then taking it outside, or like Nipsey being known all over LA and then moving his thing out. Why do you think San Diego people got to go get it popping elsewhere and then bring it back? Like, what do you think it is about our city?
If we being real, man, it's a lot of politics. You know what I'm saying? From the street stuff to whatever, and it's kind of like one of those. Even though we're still in Cali, even though we not far from LA, everybody that had the ball at some point just wanted to be the man, you know, or just wanted to gatekeep certain stuff, opposed to it being a each one teach one type of situation. I think that's like the difference between us and down south. Down south is so much camaraderie, like whether it's Atlanta, whether, you know, Memphis is winning right now, Alabama with like Rilo and No Cap and artists like that. It's always been a, you know, one hand watch the other. We got to get up out here together, opposed to us being, you know, the Golden State or whatever. Everybody out here got money. We all flashy. You know what I'm saying? So we always want to be the man, you know, in a sense. And I'm not saying that applies to everybody, but a vast majority. I'm going to just keep it real. A lot of y'all want to just be that guy, and y'all just trying to be that guy in the city. I think it just comes from small-minded thinking sometimes, bro. You know what I mean? And for a lot of us, we come from environments where we never really had role models that were doing better than their current situation. So sometimes you got to be able to see it for yourself. You know, it took for me to travel and to just see how other people network or just see how other people coexist and how they go about things, to realize, like, you know, things are bigger than just the city. It's bigger than just your one neighborhood or just your crew or whatever. And I think, and maybe even it just comes from people feeling like they gonna lose touch with they people or lose touch with the streets. Like, it's all different types of aspects in it. But to really sum it up, I feel like it just kind of comes from, you know, wanting to be the man and not wanting to lose that power.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I've seen it. I mean, I'm not an artist. I've covered a lot of artists, filmed like different shows, and been at a lot of different events and stuff. I definitely agree with that, and I think it even like that mentality like shows up in other spaces as well. I was actually just filming a podcast a couple of days ago. We were talking about that. Like, there was a fellow San Diego native, and we were talking about that. How like we got a lot of dope people here and a lot of talented people here, a lot of movers and shakers here. If we all just, I don't want to say we all, if everyone just came together and, you know, propped everybody up, we'd be a lot further along.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help with that, like in any ways that I can. I mean, I'm just one broadcaster, one photographer, but in my little ways, I'm definitely trying to bring people together and help unify as much as I can.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's why I rock with what you do, and I support what you do, man. I love the way you pushing it for sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, hopefully we could kind of take notes from and not even just down south, but even up the freeway in LA, man,
Mm-hmm.
even in the Bay Area. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's certain guys that, you know, I don't want to just limit it to just make it seem like it's just gang members or street guys that's doing this, but it's certain people that's, you know, that's reaching out and from certain areas that they may not have always been cool with, but they coming together for a common goal that's bigger than just, like I said, their homies and their neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, to get a bag or for whatever the reasons is. But they realizing it's bigger than just themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, no one man has the torch forever. You feel me?
Facts.
So when you think about it from a broader spectrum, you know, then people will start to kind of see, okay, this is how we get to that next level.
Mm-hmm. I see. How old are you, bro?
I'm 23.
23. I really appreciate your perspective on things. That's another reason, other than just like trying to, because I know you're gonna see it if I leave it in, and that's another reason I'm always tapped into your live. Because whenever I was just randomly, I was going through the stories one time, and I just found myself in your live, and I forget what you were talking about, but just like, and I knew you were, early 20s, but it's like what you were talking about and like the things you were saying about it. I'm like, I like this dude, man. I really only was just like tapped into the music. Right. I had never really seen like too many interviews or like really heard like your perspective on things like really outside of music. And so that was really dope for me to like over the last like couple of years of like tapping into your live and like listening to you talk about stuff, whether it was like the whole like the Titan submersible thing you were just talking about on your live, or just like relationship type things, or like whatever you be talking about. I'm like, I like this dude, man. I like the way he thinks. I like the way he puts his thoughts together. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate that, bro.
For sure. Where does that come from? You think it's just like from like your travels, or like where does that, like your perspective, like how the way you see things, where does that come from?
Really just life, bro. Life experiences. I've seen a lot of things at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't even have friends. Certain older relatives or older homies tell me like, man, I wasn't even thinking like that at your age until, you know, such and such or whatever. You know what I mean? So it just really come from, you know, just life experiences, man, and seeing things that a lot of people don't see at the age that I saw. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was traveling, you know, being in the industry, I always been somebody that just sees things for what they are. So it's just not easy to, you're not gonna get nothing past me. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a critical thinker. Like, I literally used to get in trouble in grade school, bro, because I just been optimistic, or I see things from a different perspective. Especially like nowadays when society always trying to make you see either, you know, it's black or white. There's no gray area. You know what I'm saying? There's no room for optimism. But I just always been an open thinker, man.
Mm-hmm. How was grade school for you?
It was pretty cool. It was cool.
Good grades, middle of the road. How, like, what kind?
Definitely, man. I couldn't come home with no bad grades, man.
Respect,
sure,
respect.
Know, definitely made sure the grades was on point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really just, I mean, I'm a smart kid, but I didn't want my parents on my back like that either. You know, if I wanted to go hang out with the homies or play video games or whatever it be, go to the park and shoot hoops, I wanted to keep them at bay so they wouldn't have no reason to say no.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was a scholar, I'd like to say.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Was it did you get to go to like traditional, like public school, or like private school? Like what type of school did you go to?
Yeah, so from like kindergarten to about third or fourth grade, I was going to public school. I was going to regular school. Once I really started
What school did you go to?
pursuing my career, the first school I went to was Paradise Hills Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I did like a year and a half at a school called Pepper Drive in El Cajon.
Okay.
And then from there, that's when I was homeschooled. I think I started being homeschooled in like the third or fourth grade, like the second semester, third grade, or like fourth grade, something like that.
And that was because your career was taking off?
Yeah, definitely. It was getting real, man. They tried to take me and my mom to juvenile court because I was missing days of school. I'm like back in New York at 106 in Park, or I'm in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, working on music, whatever. So he was like, forget it, we just gonna homeschool him. And then I was homeschooled from about third or fourth grade to about the 8th grade. Then when I got to high school, I went to public school again just to get the high school experience, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I didn't know that. What high school did you go to?
I went to Santana
Okay.
High School. Yeah.
How was that?
It was pretty cool, man. I was just trying to stay focused because at that time I was, already famous.
That's what I'm saying.
Popular. So just really staying focused and making sure those grades are still upkept to the par of the bar that I set, you know what I'm saying? But I was definitely getting a lot of attention. I think I made like most popular freshman in the 9th grade in the yearbook. You know, they was trying to get me to be in the ASB club. I was like the president for ASB for a couple weeks. Then I just kind of got tired of the responsibility because I was juggling that. And I was trying to play football and doing music. So, but it was fun, bro. I'm very thankful that I was able to go to public school and get that high school experience because, that's a once in a lifetime type of thing. Homecoming, prom, you know what I mean? You got your little crew, your homies. Like, that was a great experience for me, for sure.
I'm sure. And at that time, were you still actively working on music and pursuing your career?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Actually, I had, I think I pulled back out of public school when I went to do the rap game. I want to say I was maybe like a sophomore going into my junior year, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I saw an interview with, well, first I read it in a magazine first. And then I saw an interview of Sammy talking about how he like purposely like put his career on the back burner so he could like go to high school, and like he said he was like I was able to be like he was like prom or homecoming king. He was like I played varsity football. He was like I wouldn't have been able to I wouldn't have went to prom probably if I would have like actively pursued it. He was on top of the world at one point, you know what I'm saying? And he was like I sat down and talked to my mom and like we made this choice. It wasn't like I just wanted to or she made me. Like I wanted to like have a normal high school experience, and he was like, I'm very happy that I did. I actually, he could sing his face off too, but I'm quite sure that had he not done that, his career might have been in a different place. Who knows? You never know. But I would say that was, obviously, ultimately the right choice. Like you make choices like depending on like what you want for your life and the things you want to do. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he feels like he made the right choice too. You know what I mean?
I agree, 1,000%, for sure.
Was ever any college for you at all? Like any courses, any online or anything?
I took a lot of AP classes and stuff like that in high school, but no, I didn't go to college.
I feel it. So what you been up to? I'm not that you just graduated high school. You've been out of high school for a while now, but what have you what you been up to lately, man? Like what's new with you? What you been working on?
Oh man, I've been working on a lot of music, man, a lot of videos. Really just perfecting my craft, man, and really trying to figure out what the rebranding and marketing behind, me being a young man now and, my fans knowing me since a kid, but them getting to know me as a young man is a little bit different. All the things that they probably wondering what I've been going through, what I've been doing, and I got a documentary coming out called Lazer Focus that'll be out by the time the summer is over. So that kind of gives them some insight and sheds light really on, I kind of give them a chance to grow up with me a little bit, let them know that what was going on behind closed doors or when the cameras was off or, whatever, from okay then all the way to now. So really just been perfecting my craft, man, getting in tune with my family more, really just finding myself as a young man in society, just growing up.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. What kind of stuff are you into outside of music? I heard you say like go to the park and shoot hoops a little bit. Like what kind of stuff are you into?
Man, I be on Fortnite like crazy. Definitely love to play video games, 2K. I work out. I like to watch a different podcast too, and just really acquire game. Whether it don't even necessarily got to be music, but just life stuff. Just life stuff, health stuff. I always like to learn. You know what I'm saying? I think it was my mom's dad who told me, you know, once you stop learning, you start dying, and that really stuck with me. So just having a thirst for knowledge. But besides that, definitely love sports. You know, playing basketball, watching sports. You know, a little bit of everything, man. Football. I'm into different art, like, you know, like paintings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I gotta random, you know what I'm saying, select things that I like, but I'm into a little bit of everything, man.
That's dope. What got you into art?
I think just form of expression. I feel like it's another form of expression, the same way that I do with my music, and the same way I listen to music from a consumer's perspective. It's just always looked at it as, you know, a form of expression or something like an outlet. You know, certain art pieces could be soothing. Certain art pieces, to me, just it brings out different. You tap in more with your emotions. You know what I'm saying, and your spirituality, and that's something that I'm real big on.
You big on spirituality?
Spirituality, yeah, for sure. Especially us being black men, it's always kind of been rough for us to really express how we feel at times. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like a stigma, you could say, on, you know, expressing how you feel and showing your emotions. We still human too. We may express our emotions differently from how the females do it, but it doesn't mean we don't have emotions.
There's a lot of different like perceptions on like separating like religion and the church, or like the religion and like spirituality. What does spirituality mean to you?
I feel like spirituality to me is really just the finding who you are. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's your roots, your heritage, your family, really just finding who you are as a person, as an individual, and you know, becoming close and being one. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's being one with nature, being one with yourself, being one with life, being one with society. I feel like spirituality is just knowing who you are, being comfortable with who you are. And like I said, that goes back to society trying to pull you every which way, try to tell you how to think and stuff like that. So I feel like spirituality to me is just knowing who you are.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I I never looked at it that way. I'm sorry, I'm speaking of religion now. I never really looked at I never thought about religion like separating people until I heard Jay-Z say it. He was like, I'm not really big into religion. I think religion separates people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree. But I don't think, I think it's when like you get, I don't want to say radical, because I'm like, I think it's okay to be like radical for your religion. Like you're all in, like but I just don't like when people are like judging somebody else because of the religion they choose to be a part of. You know what I mean? That's actually like my dad is a pastor, and that's one thing I've always appreciated about my dad. I've never heard my dad say a bad thing about like Buddhist people or Muslim people or like anyone, and like he'll sit down and have a conversation with anyone. Like, you know what I mean? He definitely is like, you're not finna change his mind. Like, he's a Christian man, and that's what he believes in, and he ain't moving him off his square. But he'll definitely sit down and talk to you and like respect, you know, what you have to say. And that's what I wish most people would go about it that way. Religion definitely, it separates people, but it doesn't have to. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I've always said that myself too, like, just because I may not believe in what the next person believes, and I'm not gonna, you know, disrespect them or bash them or tell them you're wrong or this and that. You know what I mean? So it's always gotta be a mutual respect thing there. You know?
I agree, and I think religion starts to separate and divide people when it turns into like, when people are like, I'm trying not to use the word radical, but like when people are like too extra with it. Like, I'll never forget, I was in college. I think it was the 4th of July. No, it wasn't. It was a little bit like after, a little bit before the 4th of July. I'm at Oceanside at the beach. I'm with a girl, and I was just telling her about like Christianity. We're not like trying to like get her saved or anything, but just like I go to church every Sunday, so it's like one of the things I talk about. And we're at the beach, and there was this dude with like a bullhorn talking, and he had a dude next to him standing on top of the table holding up a sign that says something like, choose the Lord or burn in hell or something like that. Like something like way over the top. And I'm like, bro, how would anybody look at you screaming and look at that sign and like feel invited to what you're doing? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, but he's saying he's a Christian. You know what I'm saying? And people could look at that like, I guess what I'm saying here is that you could look at, not trying to like say my dad is this perfect Christian, but like you could look at somebody like my dad who's very open, inviting, and down for the conversation, and he's a very respectful guy. And then you could look at this person who is like, I would never want to, like, if your religion makes you behave that way, I don't want no part of it. You know what I mean? So I think it's those types of people that make it create the division, if you will.
Absolutely. Just like, I ain't gonna say no names. I don't want to get canceled or nothing, but just like it's certain people from select ethnicities, you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
That make you feel a certain type of way, and it kind of create those feelings towards them as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not necessarily even like that. It's just that one person is tripping. You know what I'm saying? Not the whole community or not their entire ethnicity. That one person is just tripping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying.
For sure. Do you stay? I know we all on social media these days. Do you stay pretty like tapped in with like what's going on the timeline and like different things that people are talking about, or are you kind of just like in your own world with it?
Sometimes, I try not to get into too much, just because it's real easy to get consumed in a lot of in the matrix, as you call it, or just a lot of the craziness in the algorithms. But certain things I do tap into, certain things that relate to me, or certain things that have my interest. But a lot of the things I be trying to stay away from. It's kind of hard for me to speak my piece on certain stuff, more so because of my notoriety. It's like, I'm still a regular person, but they'll make it seem like, oh, I'm in somebody's business, or I'm doing this, and it's that don't got nothing to do with it. I'm just speaking from my perspective. Because, the fans or the internet look at me as a celebrity, they feel like I should just, shut up and rap. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the shut up and dribble.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But like I said, man, we all human, and we all have our voices of opinion, and we're entitled to that.
I'm nowhere near like the notoriety that you have, but I can relate to that. I definitely find myself, and mainly because, and I've spoken about this before, but mainly because like I cover a lot of high school sports, and a lot of those kids and their parents like follow a lot of the things that I post, and so because of that, I find myself like I'll type something in my story or type a tweet, and they'll be like, now delete it, or I'll like go through and like tweak it, and you know what I mean, just to like, because I don't want nobody, like I'm gonna be myself and I'm gonna get my point of view out there and share my perspective just like anybody else would. Absolutely. But I definitely be like strategic, not strategic, but yeah, strategic with it. I'd definitely be strategic with it.
Nah, I feel you.
And I like to talk about what's going on, even if we don't talk about like those two people. We could talk about the situation and like talk about like how I might handle it or how you might handle it. Like I just like to talk and like just share POV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way, man. And I'm glad you brought that up because they still on my back about something I said about Nicki Minaj. I think last year, a couple years.
Really?
Ago, man. And I'm gonna be real with you. I still feel how I feel about the certain situation, but I feel like I channeled it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Social media wasn't the place to take it. And me as a man, I can admit that I was wrong on how I chose to handle that situation. And but players mess up too sometimes.
I feel it. I'm not too familiar. Do you mind speaking on it, or you want to just leave it alone?
I had a problem with Nicki Minaj collabing with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, I see.
Only because it's like, and before I get into detail, I'm going to just say this. Not everybody, I don't judge people by not handling certain situations the way I would or abiding by the same principles that I have, but I hold people accountable to their word. If you tell me you one thing, I'm going to hold you accountable to that. If you tell me you another thing, I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Even if I disagree, I got to respect it because you kept it real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of felt like, her, even though she's a superstar, she came in the game somewhat, in a sense, as a street figure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She was moving such and such for such and such back in the day, and you know what I'm saying? She represents the hood. She's from Queens. So but like I said, how I chose to handle it, I could have just kept it to myself. That wasn't for Instagram.
Yeah.
That wasn't Instagram's business. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I handled that situation poorly, man. That's maturity to say that. It's funny you say like you didn't need to take it to social media. I feel like that's what's
what I guess we don't necessarily need to speak on them, but old girl that was just at the Usher show, I feel like that's how her dude got in trouble. Because I agree with a lot of what he said, I do, but I don't agree with him making it public. He should have just, if he felt that way, he should have just hit her up personally.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree with that too, man. You know what I mean? And one thing that I've learned as, you know, because social media is still evolving, but as, you know, on the incline or whatever you want to call it, I just learned, bro, it's not a place to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? It's not a place to really...
Like for anyone or for someone like you?
Man, anybody, bro. It's
okay.
People it's regular people going viral for being vulnerable. They getting memes made out of them and TikToks and stuff like that. So
I see.
It's just kind of like, man, you gotta have that friend that you trust or that family member where you could vent to or tell them what's going on, because social media is evil. They're heartless. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about nothing. Like, if you think about it, bro, somebody can get 10,000 likes off a trolling comment that's hella disrespectful, you know, opposed to somebody that's giving you the correct advice or giving you some good game. They gonna bypass the good game. They gonna bypass the person that actually probably got your best interest at heart, but they gonna go with this because it's funny and I need to laugh for 10 to 15 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to be a victim of that, you might just want to keep it off social media.
I feel it.
If anything, it's just harder for celebrities.
I feel it. I never, up until me, like, you know, trying to grow my YouTube subscribers and my Instagram following, I was never really somebody that was, like, in the comments like that. Like, I would watch a YouTube video, whether it was, like, a Breakfast Club interview or the Joe Budden podcast, whatever it was, anything I would watch, I never read comments. I would just watch the stuff I watch and go back to what I was doing. But now that, like, I be on YouTube, I post on YouTube and Instagram a lot. So now, like, I'll chime in and be talking to people. And you've always heard the stories about how evil people can be online. So you know it's true. But I never saw it firsthand myself until I want to say the last couple of years. You could be on Baller's Life and just talk about a kid doing a dribble move and somebody come in there and, like, fully try to violate you. Like, I'd be like, bro, like, all I said was he traveled. Like, I'd be like, what is going on with you that you got to be hateful? Because, you know, it's a really bizarre thing, bro. I don't think I'll ever really understand it. A lot of the time I chalk it up to just, like, you're just a coward. You behind the screen and you're never going to meet this person, so you feel like you can say what you want. But beyond that, I'd be like, I don't get it, bro. I'd be thinking, like, where do you have to be at in life for you to, like...
For real. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for you to, like, even if you disagree with someone, to, like... I'll never understand it, bro. I'll never understand it.
I think it's just... And like I said, it's definitely harder for people like us, you know, people of influence, because... Especially when they see that blue check, they be so quick to get, you know, they just want to... It's crazy, bro, because I could say something and be spitting straight facts, but because... You know, I'm a person of influence or whatever you want to call it. Whoever responds, however crazy the response is, they going to respond to that person and be laughing just because they felt like, oh, you got a reaction out of so-and-so, or, oh, it ain't even about them being right. It's just more so, again, we got notoriety, they nobody. You know what I'm saying? And what they say might not even be all that funny or make a lot of logical sense. But it's just, you know, it's real crazy. But I think a lot of that be the reason, or be because, I think the reason behind that, I should say, is because social media is really a way for people to escape reality. You know what I'm saying? It's really an illusion. And I be looking at it like, dang, it's just a lot of people out here that are more broken and more depressed than I ever would have thought.
Yeah,
like,
that's real.
Wow,
that's real.
Really, it gets sad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang, how can you have all these feelings towards me and you don't even know me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
I actually, bro, I still, like, have, like, my thoughts about it and still, like, can be judgmental about it. But I've kind of, like, grown to a place where I'm just, like, it's something I'm never going to understand. And it's, like, almost, like, feel bad for the people that, like, are hateful online and then, like, have a certain, like, persona online that, like, they faking and fronting online, whether they pretending to be tough or pretending to be lit and rich, or, you know what I mean? Like, I've grown to the point where, like, I just feel bad for them, honestly. Like, it used to be like, you a weirdo, like, but I just truly, honestly feel bad for them, because it's like, what has to be, I don't want to get too deep, but like what has to be going on for like that to be what you choose to do and actively do it? You know what I mean?
21 Savage voice, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
It's like the bottomless pit of depression, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I don't mean that to joke about depression, because depression is real.
Very.
You know what I'm saying?
Very.
It's real, and it opens my eyes up to. It's like, yo, like, who's really doing something about this? Like, my page done been flagged and taken down so many times for spitting facts. But every time I hop on there, it's still people posting guns and drugs and all of this. So I'm like, hold on. How is whatever I said or whatever I reposted, how is it more detrimental than what the heck they doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
literally going against community guidelines. Forget community guidelines, they breaking 37 damn laws. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right.
I just, it's almost starting to seem like it's a meticulous plan, bro. Like, it's almost starting to look like it's by design. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
You said depression is real. You ever dealt with depression?
At certain times, it ain't never been nothing deep, but it's more so just, I think it stems from wanting to be great, man. And you know, when you want to, in that greatness, sometimes it stresses you out, and sometimes it depresses you because nobody sees your vision how you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can, you know what I'm saying, necessarily, nobody can see it for you how you see it. And I think that's what, you know, at times I've been kind of down on myself in the past, where it's just like, man, I just really want to do this, or man, I really want to get this out, but it feel like nobody's paying attention, or it feel like nobody's listening. You know what I mean? So I've dealt with small levels of, you know what I'm saying, depression, but I get past it. You know what I'm saying? My family keeping me grounded, my family keeping me sane, and just really knowing who I am at heart. I ain't never really fallen too deep into no depression modes or nothing like that. I usually shake it right back off. But it has been times where I've been down on myself in the past, you know.
What do you do to shake it off? Does it just kind of like come and then it passes, or do you have to like actively do something to like bring yourself out of it?
Nah, it kind of just comes and passes. Like I said, it just starts from really me stressing myself out. And I don't know if it's because I'm a Sagittarius too or whatever the case is, but sometimes as a creator, and I'm sure you could probably relate to this, sometimes you just want to do so much at once that it stresses you out, and it can lead to levels of depression.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially when it's like I always start off by saying this. Anyone that creates something and puts it out to be shared,
yeah,
you want as many people to see it as possible.
Yeah.
Like, and anyone that says otherwise, they fronting.
Right.
Like, I don't say like you post something and expect to be lit tomorrow. But when you post something on Instagram or YouTube or wherever, anywhere public, you expect a lot of people to see it. You hope a lot of people see it. Me, I'm one of those people as well. I hope a lot of people see it, but I'm more so locked in with the journey of it and embracing each part of the grind and just really just embracing the journey of it and just like learning, excuse me, and learning along the way. That's what kind of like helps me to, because I've dealt with that before. I've dealt with like, whether I come in here and get everything all set up and my guest's like, hey bro, I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Or I supposed to go film a game and the last minute they end up booking with somebody else, or like just anything could happen and it make you like, you get in your head and get to thinking like, why you book with him and not me? Or like, why they didn't pull up they don't want to do the interview no more? Like they don't like the show no more? Like you get to like, you could start, you know what I mean? You could really like go off the deep end when you really start to like think about anything that can and that has gone wrong or that could potentially go wrong along your journey. But for me, I was on that. I want to say for a good like 4 or 5 months I was on that, just trying. I need to grow. I need to do this. I need to. But I was about a year ago, and I'm happy to say like I shook that off within like 4 or 5 months and fell back in love with the journey of it. Like I enjoy coming in here and setting my studio up. Like I enjoy going home and editing. I enjoy looking for new clients to go and film for, you know what I mean? Like I really love my job. I love the journey of it, and I've fallen back in love with that part. And it was that other side of it though, like focusing on the numbers and views and followers, and it's it could be very depressing, bro, especially when you feel like your product is a certain quality and it's a certain level and it should be viewed and respected in a certain way and it's not. It's easy to get in your own head, bro. I was for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely was.
I think embracing the journey. Well, I know for a fact embracing the journey is one of the main things that helped me get through it too, and just looking at where I started and where I'm at now, and all the trials and tribulations I had to get, and go through to get there. I'm like, bro, I went from getting. I'm talking about they wasn't letting me open up for certain people because, and mind you, I was still a kid, so I kind of understand, opening up for certain people in the clubs or whatever the case is, or just, people I looked up to not giving me a shot in the beginning, and then I look back on it like, bro, despite all of that, I'm still to this day the youngest artist to ever sign a Def Jam. Like, who can say that? You know what I'm saying? At first, it was LL Cool J. So for me to even be, I'm 23, and they literally gonna say my name before him in the Guinness World Record books, like, so that's what really helps me. Like, it ain't always about how fast you get there, but embracing the journey and really appreciating the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? And everything that comes with it. That's definitely helped me not only get out of those little slumps, but it's also helped me stay locked in on what I'm trying to do in the end game.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I even find myself in the down times, I always just tell myself when I'm to the level I want to be at, I'm going to look back on moments like this and just laugh at them. I remember I used to tell my brother that. Like, my first car used to always break down on me. Used to always run out of gas. My older brother be with me sometimes. The older brother be like, bro, like, you got to be more responsible, bro. Like, keep gas in your car. Like, take care of your car, bro. And I would always be like, bro, one day I'm going to have like 3 cars, and I'm going to laugh about when I was 19 pushing this car to the gas station. And that's the mentality. I've, like, brought that mentality to here. Like, I'm going to be interviewing guys like you, and, like, I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm going to be looking back when guys was fronting on me and, like, showing up late or just completely forgetting that they got to pull up on me. Right. I can look back on that stuff and laugh now, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to, like, that I've gone through that. I'll probably continue to go through it, but I can look at it and laugh and know that, like, I'm growing every day. I don't really need to trip on that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
One thing about it, the tables always turn, man. The tables always turn. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Facts.
Know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
I think I heard my brother say that for the first time when I was a little bit younger, and I didn't know what it meant. He told me, I was like, oh, that's good. I like that one. Yeah. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I was like, okay, I like that one. What do you watch any TV or anything like that?
Yeah, man. I've been on I watched it in the past, but I was still kind of young, and I watched it vaguely. But I've been on a Sons of Anarchy marathon lately.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I like some. It's a couple different series that I like, though. I've been into a little different sci-fi series. It's a series called Westworld that I've been watching on Prime Video. The Peripheral. Those are two. I don't know if that's your genre. You know what I'm saying? If that's your taste in genres, but it's some good watching right there for you, brother.
Gotcha. Okay.
It kind of relates to what's going on today.
I'll check them out. I have to check them out. You any TV or any film in your future?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You might see me on Stars next summer.
Okay. That's what's up.
I don't know if I could leak the sauce yet, but I got something up my sleeve for sure.
That's what's up. It's funny. I'm sure, like, contract and things and stuff, why you can't speak about it too much. Yeah. For me, I'm not really, like, it ain't contracts and stuff that keep me from talking. I just, for a while, like, I would jump the gun in talking about, like, the stuff that I had upcoming. And it would, like, for whatever reason, some of those things wouldn't happen. And he'd be like, oh, bro, like, what happened with the so-and-so? And I'd be like, it ended up not happening. And speaking of that, matter of fact, Alex, that I talked about at the beginning of the show, because we were supposed to do this last week or the week before last, I was about, what happened? The day before we were supposed to do the show, I was about to text her and my homie Jesse that used to party with us and my brother and be like, yo, guess what I'm finna interview tomorrow. I was just about to do it and, like, had to, like, tell him, like, oh, that's dope, da-da-da-da. Yeah. And then we ended up needing to reschedule. And I was like, I'm glad I didn't say nothing yet. Because they'd have been like, well, like, you know what I mean? I mean, granted, we here now. It was eventually still going to happen. But stuff like that is why I don't like. And then just, like, I don't really like to. I've had a few instances where, like, I'll share my good news with people. Yeah. And they don't really, like, they're not as excited as I want them to be.
Yeah, people.
And it'll really make me feel the way, bro. I'm like, bro, like, we love each other. Like, when I tell you my good news, like, you should be happier than that, bro. And it got me to a point where I was like, you know what? I'ma just be happy on my own, bro. I would tell my mom. My mom always gonna be happy, but I'ma just be happy on my own, bro.
Nah, I had to learn that the hard way too, man. Sometimes when you always want to speak things into existence too, but sometimes certain people really just don't have your best interests at heart, or they not really rocking with you like they say they are. That's why I always went by the saying, let the ink dry first. Shout out to my boy Rocco, man, my big homie Rocco. That's who told me that. You know what I'm saying? Just let the ink dry on it first. You know what I'm saying? Because we speak positivity into the universe, but that don't always mean that people around us or people involved have those same intentions for us. So sometimes, it's just better to show people better than you could tell them. And I've learned that the hard way a couple times. Because it done been the same situations where I might have a feature with somebody, or I might, and then they never released a song, or they scrapped my verse, or whatever the case is. Like, I'm talking about life-changing opportunities. Even, yeah, man. Shout out to the producers at Power and Stars Network, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get hit with no cease and desist, but y'all know. Yeah.
That's funny. That's fine. I had some that was pretty good with that you threw me off with that.
Yeah.
What's
It's
up?
real. It's real. For sure. Definitely. Yeah, man. People be haters, bro. People be hating, man. It's crazy.
That's what I was gonna say. I've never really, granted I'm a little bit older than you, but I be out, I work downtown a lot, like, filming and photography and stuff. So I be out, like I move around.
Yeah,
and I never really.
Outside. I see you.
Yeah, I be trying to get this money, bro. Yeah. It seemed like you really be out the way. Is that like, do I just be missing you, or is that like a conscious choice for you to kind of like stay out the way?
It's been certain situations. I feel like when you focus on something, when you really got something going on, it's kind of like isolation sometimes is just the best thing. Now, I'll definitely pop out and network, you know what I'm saying, and rub shoulders with the right people, because that's what you got to do to grow. You got to rub shoulders with different people. You got to tap in with you know what I'm saying? Your network is your network. So it's definitely something that's pivotal for sure in any line of work if you're trying to excel. But sometimes I just really be locked in on certain stuff that I'm trying to do, especially when I'm in album mode. That's probably why you've been missing me these most recently.
Okay.
Because I've been working on this the Lazer Focus Part 2 project. So, I be really isolated and kind of staying out the way when I'm in album mode and stuff like that.
Lazer Focus Part 2, how far along, how close to being finished is that?
Really just getting a couple samples cleared and getting the artwork done. I'm trying to drop it simultaneously with the documentary I was telling you about. So hopefully it'll be ready by the end of summer for sure.
Any notable features on there? If you don't want to share it, I was about to say, if you don't want to share it yet, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm going to shock the world for sure. Once I drop this, they ain't going to be able to say Lil Niqo fell off.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
My words.
That's what's up. Yeah. If you do any any type of like big drop or anything like in the city, let me know, bro. I'd love to be there for that.
Absolutely.
I would love to be there for that. So you said you got a documentary and a new album coming into the summer.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. We're gonna be on the lookout for that. We're gonna be on the lookout. And what's the documentary called? Does it have a name yet?
It's called Lazer Focus, the movie.
Okay, bet.
So it really just I titled that. I titled it that, and also titled the project that really because I feel like, it was a couple hiatuses in my career where I feel like my fans didn't really get the chance to grow with me, but, I'm going to give them some insight on what's been going on during the time that they missed and during the time where I wasn't necessarily on the scene how they would like it, you know what I mean? And so it kind of gives them a chance to understand how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a lot of stories and a lot of things I talk about and show them that they may not have been aware of, both personal and professional. So, but all in all, those trials and tribulations and those life experiences helped me stay laser focused on my goals. So I called it Lazer Focus.
I like that. Well said, bro. Well said. I'm sure the music's going to be everywhere that you listen to music, all the DSPs. Where's the documentary? Where's that going to live at?
We're actually working on a deal right now for it to be exclusively on Netflix, but just in case, it's definitely gonna be on YouTube and YouTube TV for sure.
Bet.
Yeah.
Bet. That's what's up, bro. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. And if ever, also, when the time comes, if ever you want to pull up on me and come do some promotion up here, you're more than welcome, bro.
Absolutely, appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man. This was an honor to have you on the show, bro.
Thank
For
you,
real.
bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you
Blessed to
pulling
be
up, bro.
here.
Absolutely. I've been, like I said, I've been ever since Alex got us all tapped in. I've been knowing who you are and been a fan since then. But I also just like I said, over the last like 2.5, maybe 3 years, is really like staying connected to you via social media and just watching all of that.
Yeah.
Definitely a fan, bro. Definitely a fan.
Appreciate that, man. Shout out to Alex. You
Absolutely,
feel me?
absolutely. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Alex.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for pulling up, bro.
Love.
Another episode of the Ain't Got It Yet podcast, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Until next time, take care.